Hello and welcome to Flippin Through, the internet's #1 Mad Magazine news, review, and interview channel. And today we're flipping through Mad Magazine number 126, released April 1969. Our price, 35 cents, which is indeed cheap. But before we do that, let me please remind you, hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below. That's the best way to help this channel grow. And I'm at like 670. We're stagnating at the satanic cesspool of 666. And praise the Lord, we have moved past it. So now we're at 670, a much more wholesome number. Wouldn't you agree? Anyway, please hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below. If you want to support me in another way, patreon.com/flippinthrough. You support me on Patreon. What do you get? Well, you get a 6 set of stickers. That is the #1 thing you get. And then the next 2 people who support me, they're going to be getting a special set of buttons. You're going to get, I'll show you right now. I'm going to zoom in. Look I have them ready because I'm like a pro now. This is the set of signature buttons that I threw together. And that was just for the people on Patreon. And now you get a little bonus one that I made just for funsies, and that is the Mad Hex. So I only have 2 sets of these buttons left. So if you want one and you don't support me on Patreon, support me on Patreon, $5, and you'll get them. All right. So with that, everybody gets a set of stickers, no matter what level you support me at. Anyway, that's enough of that. All right. How obscene, how lewd that I would just spend that time begging for your money. Look at this. I know I'm late. I know it's not the 4th of July anymore. But I thought it would be apropos, as they say, to do a patriotic cover. And this is like one of the all-time greats. Norman Mingo does a really great job with patriotic covers, with patriotic imagery. There, of course, is the other one where Alfred E. Neuman is on stilts, kind of dressed up like Uncle Sam, and his pants have fallen all the way down. And on that one, it's just I'm not going to go into that cover because this is the cover that I'm talking about. Who Needs You? And then it's signed James Montgomery Mingo, a reference to the original artist of the, We Need You. Or is it I Need You? We Need You? I forget what Uncle Sam tells us. Uncle Sam is sick, though. Probably one of the greatest country mascots of all time. I mean, I don't know if there's that many other country mascots. On the back cover, because it's so great, this has been reprinted numerous times, and for good reason. The Beat Generation. And so, you have this hippie just standing there minding his own business. You have this other group of hippies being chased by, I don't know, the National Guard that showed up to Kent State. And look at this cop. He sees him hanging out there, and he runs back and just cracks him upside the head. I don't know. It says a lot about the state of affairs back then. And this is artist and writer Sergio Aragones. It's just beautiful. It's just a top 10 Sergio cartoons. Here we have Mad's color page. Usually what you get here is maybe a fake ad. One of those ones that's for Avis Rent-A-Cars or Ajax or something that some reference that I don't understand. So I just kind of move past it. I understand a puzzle page. I get that. And this one's so flippin' good too. I want to I'm gonna zoom in. All right, we'll zoom in and look at this. The wonderful letter A. How many things can you see that begin with this letter? So you're looking for things that begin with that letter, and I'm going to go through all of these, and I'll just read some of the answers. Here's the sparkling color blindness test. can you see the number hidden in this color blindness test chart? And then there's the colorful people. And here are people of different colors and different races, all living together in love and peace and harmony. Can you color them correctly and guess where they're from? This is like MAD was in like the 60s and 70s. They had a lot of racial humor. And I think they did a pretty good job with it. And then the color matchup game. Which ones are the twin Easter eggs? So I'm going to flip this over and I can read upside down, but I don't know if you guys can read upside down. So I'll start up here. There are 3,586 things that begin with the letter A. They are a lady, a painter, a gorilla, a hatchet, a car, a jet plane, a moron who attempts to solve puzzles like these, and 3,579 more. I thought that was especially fun because there are so many things that start with A in there. Like instead of jet plane, an aeroplane, you might say. If you see an 8, your color perception is normal. If you see a 3, you're colorblind. I do love this a lot because I am colorblind and I had to take these tests and I often get them wrong. And obviously, that's the number 5. And that's the joke. Nobody sees a 5, an 8, or a 3. Leave a comment down below. What number do you see in this colorblind test? And then you are correct if you colored all green, because if they're living in love and peace and harmony, they must be Martians. And then that one kind of sucks. It's like, well, it's a goose egg. It's a, rabbit's egg. It's some other egg, a chicken egg. So I don't know. It was fine. And it would have been funnier if it was like none, because if they're twins, it would be 2 eggs, like 2 eggs within the shell of the egg. Like 2 yolks. Anyway, we're going to move on past this. Just wasn't that great. Not a great letters department. I am sad to say. This one right here, sick society. Take a moment, you guys. Hit pause if you want to really check all of these out. It's a Max Brandel special. Max Brandel is just so good. He's so good at words, and he's like one of the few people that can incorporate photographs, and I will be entertained by them. It's quite fantastic. So here we have the diseases of our sick society. And here's Parkinson's disease. It's like, all right, that's maybe not the strongest lead, right, for a pun. Gangrene. And these are like, I don't know, the prancing, roaming saints or something. I don't know. I've never heard of them. They probably pretty lame gang that aren't around anymore. Maybe I'll Google that. Maybe I shouldn't shit talk gangs. Color blindness, which I got to say, as a colorblind person, getting 2 colorblind jokes like in immediate succession, I feel pretty represented. I'm pretty pleased by that. Maybe I shouldn't phrase it like that, considering the photograph. But I was pretty amused to have 2 colorblind jokes. Maybe did colorblindness not get invented until the 60s? Mononuclearosis, dysenteria, like dysenteria, no, dysenteria. I don't know. Who gives a shit? Carcinoma with Johnny Carson on the TV screen, and then Leningitis, yellow fur. Like this is kind of this are like the type of racial humor where it's like, I don't know. They do a really great job. Oh, this one, German measles. I was thinking about this. So this is like Americans dressed up like Nazis in the 60s. And I just imagine, being like a young American and you serve in World War II. It's 1945. You come back home. You find your gal. You start a family. You raise those kids right. You try to do the best job you can with the tools you have. You're dealing with a lot of stuff. You saw so much stuff over there. Cities firebombed, internment camps. Got a lot to process, but you're doing a good job. You're a good dad. And then your boy, 26 years old, it's 1969. And your boy is marching around Ohio dressed as a Nazi, holding signs that say, fight integration and fight NAACP, join our pickets. That'd be a bummer, I think. That'd be a pretty big bummer to have to deal with that. But who knows? Now, something on this page, Maularia. Now, this one, I don't know. Some of these work visually more than when they're spoken out. Kind of like the dysenteria, elephantitis. This one, the big old fatso, and it says what? Affluenza. No, that's like, I did look it up. I thought that was a new term. But apparently it was like first coined in 1954. But how cool is that? I thought it was cool. Anyway, we'll move on. Here's a lovely, who did this? Is this Mort Drucker? Mort Drucker does double duty. Now this is one that I did want to look at because I think like culturally it's meaningful, even though for me it's not very meaningful. It is a comparison, a mad look at, not in the format you are expecting, and not in the format that they'll use later on in this magazine, but a mad look at Hugh versus Helen. That's Hugh Hefner, famous founder of Playboy magazine, and then Helen Gurley Brown, which is somebody I just learned about. She was like the editor-in-chief of Cosmopolitan magazine for a very, very long time, and she's very special. As special as Hugh Hefner, certainly. Hugh Hefner tells his Playboy pals how red to paint the town, but Helen sells the girly gals on doing it up brown. Hugh has his bunnies gather for the key white-collar men, but Helen's ploys are rather more, well, cosmopolitan. He bears the naked and the bed, a hymn to pretty her, but she proves with a 2-page spread the nitty-grittier. He leads his flocks, the churchmen chide, along the devil's way, but she is on the angel's side, exhorting, let us pray, with an EY, get it? Hugh's views on double pleasure shared by giving sex a whirl are only child's play, boy, compared to Helen's single girl. Now, I'll have to look up what single girl is because I don't really understand. But I don't know. Probably has to do with feminism or something. One of my favorite parts, this is like kind of a fun little poem written by Ronnie Nathan. He's got another poem in here. I think this is the stronger of the two. But really awesome art by Jack Rickard. And kind of cool seeing them like sort of shepherding their lecherous followers towards the opposite sex. I thought that was a pretty cool one. And then outside, a novelty shop. This is, if you can believe it, a 3-page cartoon. Does it need to be a 3-page cartoon? Well, if you know my views on what is his name? Don Martin. The answer is no, it doesn't need to be a 3-page cartoon. I bet you it could be edited down to a 1-page cartoon, but it should probably be told in 2. Okay, so this guy has a little lapel flower that squirts water. You see, he leaves there, goes up to the bus stop. Don't need this panel. You could just show him walking out, being at the bus stop. What a great looking boutonniere. Mind if I take a closer look? Oop, skloosh. Oh, it broke. Goes back, gets a new one. What a great looking boutonniere. mind if I take a closer look? Help yourself. And then he gets socked in the head by some other prankster. Then he goes back. Closed due to death in family. Will reopen Monday. Splish. Like that didn't need to be like that. Like I don't this part. This is the funny part. He gets socked in the face. Anyway, Mad's 1968-69 football lowlights. I hope you guys don't mind. I don't care about football. Past, present, or future. So I'm going to move on to this fun spy versus spy cartoon. So you have the little white spy. Look, he's got a little paper boat. Do you guys remember making those as children? He just sends it down, goes in there. He follows it, goes back. With the wire on it, I thought something was going to happen, like something, I don't know, different. Goodness gracious. Now here is, if comic strips covered the burning issues of the day, you would expect, I don't know if you would expect, I expected it to be like Elder or Wood doing this, but it's not. It's my man, Bob Clark, whom I like, but I don't know. There's something about it that he's just not quite as good at mimicking other artists as Elder and Wood are. Like, Superman doesn't look quite right. I don't know. This is mostly good enough, but Snoopy, old Snoop Dogg, does not look good enough. Mandrake. He nailed Mandrake. But it's like Mandrake only has like one pose. He's only drawn like this. You know, kind of like squinty-eyed as he gestures hypnotically. But yeah, even Olive Oil doesn't look. Look at that. That's not Jughead. Like, who are these people? No cartoons I've ever seen. That's for certain. But anyway, here, have you noticed that Beetle Bailey always wears his caps down over his eyes, Sarge? Yeah, what's he hiding? I've got an idea. Let's sneak up behind him. You grab his arms and I'll pull his cap off. Swell. Then we'll learn his secret at last. Get out of Vietnam. You know. Here, this one's prescient, right? Dick Tracy. Grim faces hold up in that alley, Tracy. Good work, man. Let's move in and get him. Put your hands up. Rip that shirt right off his back. Let him have it. Help, help, I give up. These days, we've got to be very careful to avoid being accused of police brutality. And they still do. Don't they? Yeah. I just like this final panel. You mean he's taken up to smoking spinach? He's a cement head. I like this art right here. Cliche movie script. They kind of have the same gag twice, but these are really cool illustrations, like caricatures of the. Look at that. I'm going to zoom in on these. I didn't notice this when I first went through it. So look at, there you have Cagney. You dirty rat. You killed my brother. Look at Davis. Betty Davis. Clark Gable. Joan Crawford. Who's this? Robinson. Robinson Crusoe. Alice Faye. Shirley Temple. Betty Grable. Look at that. Wayne Newton. Rogers. Mimi Rogers? Errol Flynn. Dude, that's a sick name, right? Is it Errol or Arrow? I've only heard it. I've never seen his name. Rita Hayworth. Old Bogey. Humphrey Bogart. I really like this. This is quite charming. And then we have this, a mad peek behind the scenes. You guys know, if you're a longtime viewer, you know I love this. Like the little walls carved out and stuff. It's just fun. It's just so sweet. Two things I really want to point out. One is this, an oopsie. Another beautiful Jack Rickard, right? Isn't that who did this? I don't. I'm pretty sure. I'm going to chance it and just say it is. This, right? Atrocious, terrible, stupid, nauseating, boring, awful. They're screening some new in-flight movies for TWA, Trans World Airlines, TWA Flight 800. I remember that. I was a kid. They're screening some new in-flight movies for TWA. Guess that one won't make it. No, it's perfect. But look at he's saying no, it's perfect. And he's saying they're both saying it. Anyway, then this one. Nuts. A flight just arrived at the wrong time, and now our whole landing schedule is screwed up. Which flight arrived at the wrong time? 12:52 from Chicago. What time did it arrive? 12:52. I don't know. I like that. I don't travel. Seems like some people travel quite a bit. Not me, though. What's the world got to offer me? This sucks. This one sucks really bad. You know you're in trouble when they smile. It's like, it's that sort of like, you know, if A, you know, or you know that something, then something. If this, then that. They're so poorly written. Like they're weirdly, okay, this one. You're in trouble when you're acting in the school play and you see everybody in the audience smiling at you. First off, that was too long. Since you know what an awful actor you are, so they can't be smiling in approval, our suggestion, check that zipper. Okay. You know you're in trouble if you're a girl and all the boys on the corner turn and smile at you when you pass by, especially if one of them is the big mouth you just quit going steady with and you can imagine what he's told them. I mean, like, yeah, that would be not fun, but also neither is reading this. So let's turn the page. And then this, like, I don't know, lastly, you know you're in trouble whenever any of these guys are smiling. Charles de Gaulle, because he's got a brand new airport with his name on it. Mao Zedong, Stokely Carmichael, George Wallace, and the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Anyway, here's this one I do kind of like. Artist Bob Clark, writer Dick DiBartolo, the mad plan to beautify America. So you have like all of these ads for like savings and loans, playing Monopoly, perfect figure, play text, and then you have all of the speeding signs, right? Like the road signs, I guess. Dangerous curves, newly seated, stop, do not pass, yield. And then there's this neat, right here, transformation. Do not pass, go, do not collect $200. Enjoy Monopoly, another Parker Brothers game. Give yourself some dangerous curves with Playtex, living bras and girdles. Savings and loan accounts yield 5.5% interest per annum. Per annum. Speeders lose their licenses unless they consult with Sid, not guilty Asher. And then Bethlehem builds better bridges. That's Bethlehem Steel. Then look at, there's like little fun little ones I didn't even notice, like Nabisco right there and GE on the lamppost. That's kind of fun. Anyway, sort of a fun one just to look at really quickly. Here we have the lighter side of American tourists. The Quiet American. That's a Vietnam book. Graham Greene. Graham Greene. Spy versus Spy. That's what I'm here for, right? The things that don't require reading. You sleeping in bed with a pistol? That's not safe. What if you have a nightmare? Oh, he grabs it. Both of these are so simple and so silly. I love this. He just knocks himself out with a plunger attached to the window. here we have, I made a little YouTube short about this. If you guys didn't know, a mad look at the silent cartoons were not invented by Sergio Aragones. Obviously, they became his because, nobody was doing it better. But before that, there was like a rotation of artists who would do it. And, he rotated in early on and then he took it over. But this is a mad look at frustration. Artist, Paul Coker Jr., writer, Jack Kent. And you'll notice, like not all mad look ats are like this. So you can kind of tell when it is and when it isn't what was taken over. Because obviously we had that poem earlier on that was a mad look at Humphrey versus Helen. What is his name? Humphrey Humperdinck? Who cares? So all right, you look at, boom, he gets some money, he's feeling good. Oh, he gets stuck up. That is frustrating. This can't relate. Ladies, leave a comment down below if this is a mad look at frustration. Here we have one. Look at it. Ooh, he's like number 19. Oh, shake hand. Oh, she didn't even invite me in. And then, look at, here we go. Oh, give him a little smooch. Poof. Oh, you get Prince Andrew. That's who you get. Oh, God, what a scumbag. Who's the frustrated one? Is it the firefighter who's trying to put out a fire? Or is it this guy who's like, you interrupted my bathroom break? You gotta love some suicide humor. And then this is, oh my God. They got really good ones, man. This is like, there are, in this issue, some real stinkers, right? But there's some real good ones too. And yeah. Oh, this is the other poem submitted by Ronnie Nathan. No, it didn't work. And then we have, like, there was that first thing that I was looking at. What was I looking at? It was like the thing about the movie script, right? I think it was right before this. With those great illustrations. Cliche movie script. And then it's this, right? Where it's just more movie tropes. And it's beautifully illustrated by Mort Drucker, but it's the same thing. I want to look at this. Which modern artist is most successfully communicating with his audience? Good grief. And you know what? He's a Minnesota boy. Charles Schultz, born in Minnesota. And you guys know that as a fellow Minnesota boy, I cannot pass up an opportunity of pointing out when somebody is from Minnesota. It has been a wonderful episode. Thank you so much for joining me. Remember, hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. Toodaloo.